Well, the officers who stopped the Covenant school shooter have been nominated for the Congressional Gold Medal. Congressman Andy Ogles tweeted he submitted the names of both Michael Collazo and Rex Engelbert for that award. The Congressional Gold Medal is the highest honor Congress gives for civilians or non-military members. Ogles met with the two officers this week, and he thanked them for their courageous and selfless acts.
Today, Metro Police also honored those who responded to the Covenant school shooting alongside those two. The department held its annual award ceremony today. More than 125 police officers and citizens were honored for their heroism and bravery last year. All of the officers who responded to the Covenant school shooting were recognized. Metro Police also honored some staff members who helped protect students when those shots were fired.
But when you look at the Covenant incident and how we responded, not just the officers that went in, they were heroic, but the officer that was taking gunfire, the teachers who sheltered kids in place, to honor them for that is really, truly special for us. I fought back tears when we did it.
The 5 officers who stopped the shooter will also be honored in Washington, D.C. next month. They will be attending the Top Cop Awards on May 12th.